Jack John McCall, also known as Crooked Nose Jack or Broken Nose Jack, might have fallen into oblivion if he hadn't taken the fateful act of shooting Wild Bill Hickok while he was playing poker at Nuttal and Mann's Saloon in Deadwood, Dakota Territory, August 2nd, 1876. Although McCall was an outlaw, his notoriety largely stemmed from his excessive drinking, stupidity, and frequent disturbances. Considering he used multiple aliases throughout his life, there may be more despicable acts in his past that we haven't discovered yet.
Remember to hit the like button because it helps us a lot. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and press the notification bell to not miss the upcoming interesting videos.
Jack McCall was born in 1850 in Jefferson County, Kentucky, where he spent his adult years with his 3 older sisters. As a young man, McCall began his journey towards the western frontier, seeking opportunities and jobs in the vast American West. It was during this time that he immersed himself in the life of a challenging and unpredictable frontier. In the late 1860s, McCall reached the frontier of Kansas and Nebraska, an area known for its rugged landscape and rich wildlife. There he befriended a group of buffalo hunters, a profession that thrived in that era. With these hunters, McCall roamed the untamed plains, chasing ferocious buffalo that once roamed the land in great numbers. During this time period, his life was defined by the joys and hardships of buffalo hunting. Press accounts describe him as having a short chestnut hair, a small sandy mustache, split chin, and characteristic crossed eyes. Later, historical records indicate that McCall also traveled further west to the vast expanses of Wyoming. It was in this rugged and unspoiled territory that he sought out new opportunities and experiences. Although the exact details of his time in Wyoming are less well documented, it serves as an important chapter in McCall's journey to the infamous events that will follow. In 1876, McCall arrived in Deadwood, South Dakota, a bustling and lawless town famous for its involvement in the gold rush. It was here that he took on a new identity, taking the name Bill Sutherland. The reason behind this alias remains a mystery, but it marked a turning point in McCall's life. Soon after arriving in Deadwood, Jack McCall found himself drawn to the lively atmosphere of the bar at Nuttal and Mann's. It is here that fate will intertwine his path with an ongoing game of poker. Fortunately, one of the players decided to leave, so there was still a seat at the table. Seizing the opportunity, McCall quickly took the empty seat, eager to test his skills and luck in the game. However, McCall's decision to enter the poker game proved futile. Drunk and overmatched, he tries to maintain his composure and judgment. The contents of his cup seemed to cloud his mind, McCall losing game after game until there was not a penny left in his pocket. Hope was dwindling in him. Realizing McCall's predicament, a prominent figure at the table, Wild Bill Hickok, offered to help. Hickok generously gave McCall some money to buy food and advised him not to continue playing until he regained his composure. Even though McCall accepted the money, he felt offended and harbored the intention of revenge. The next afternoon, when Wild Bill entered Nuttal and Mann's saloon, he discovered Charlie Rich occupying his beloved chair. After thinking for a while, Wild Bill decided to join the game, albeit with some reluctance. Unfortunately, he chose a seat with his back to the door and bar, a fatal mistake. Meanwhile, Jack McCall, drinking heavily at the bar, saw Hickok walk into the bar and sit at his familiar table in the corner near the door. Realizing an opportunity for revenge and possibly building a reputation for himself, McCall sneaks behind Hickok. Without hesitation, he aimed a .45 caliber pistol at the back of Hickok's head and pulled the trigger. In a chilling moment, Hickok shouted, "Damn you, take that!" He was holding an ace and 8, collapsed to the floor, instantly dead. Everything happened so fast, the people in the pub were still in shock, not knowing what just had happened. Seizing the opportunity, the cowardly McCall hurried out of the pub, trying to escape on another person's nearby horse. However, due to a loose saddle, he was thrown off the horse and sprawled on the ground. Determined to hide, McCall quickly got up and raced down the dusty street, seeking refuge in a butcher's shop. But within minutes, he was found and captured by an angry mob. The next day saw the mining camps meeting for the miners' court, gathered at the McDaniels Theater. Despite the lack of legal authority, the city of Deadwood appointed defense attorneys, prosecutors, and judges to begin McCall's murder trial. During the trial, McCall brazenly stated that his motive for shooting Wild Bill was revenge, on the grounds that Wild Bill killed his brother in Abilene, Kansas. Moreover, he boldly declared that he should have done it sooner. Incredibly, in less than 2 hours, the jury reached a verdict of not guilty. The verdict prompted the Black Hills Pioneer to comment that, "Should it ever be our misfortune to kill a man, we would simply ask that our trial may take place in some of the mining camps of these hills." After the trial, McCall lingered in Deadwood for several days, seemingly under the illusion that he had successfully evaded punishment for his heinous crime. A man named Joe threatens McCall that if he stays here, he may soon go to his grave. Upon receiving this omen, McCall began his journey to Wyoming. There, he bragged to anyone willing to listen that he had accomplished the daring feat of ending the famous Wild Bill Hickok's life. Less than a month later, it was revealed that the court in Deadwood had no jurisdiction. This revelation stems from the fact that Deadwood is located in Indian Territory, challenging the legality of the proceedings. McCall's arrogance and relentless bragging would eventually seal his own fate when the news of his bold claims reached the U.S. Deputy Marshals in Laramie, Wyoming. Acting quickly, the Deputy Marshal arrested McCall on May 29th, marking an important turning point in the unfolding events. Charged with murder, McCall was quickly transported to Yankton, South Dakota, to stand trial. The trial attracted a great deal of public attention. Lorenzo Butler Hickok, who traveled from Illinois to witness the trial, will decide the fate of his brother's killer. On December 4th, 1876, the trial began, and Hickok found solace when the verdict was delivered on December 6th, finding McCall guilty. At 10:15 a.m. on March 1st, 1877, McCall was brought to the platform where he knelt with the priest, bound with his hands and feet tied. With his head covered by a black cloth, McCall begged the sheriff for another 60 seconds of prayer. Then, with the noose around his neck, McCall said his last words, "Pull it tighter, Sheriff." The trap was released and McCall was hanged, the first to be executed by federal officials in the Dakota Territory. As for McCall's earlier claim of shooting Hickok to avenge his brother, it was discovered that Jack McCall had never had a brother, and that it was all a lie. McCall is buried at Sacred Heart Cemetery in Yankton County, South Dakota. In 1881, when the cemetery was moved, his body was exhumed and it was discovered that he was buried with the noose still wrapped around his neck. Also interesting is that the killing of Hickok and the capture of McCall is reenacted every summer evening at the Masonic Temple in Deadwood. Please like and share if you find the video content interesting and useful. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and comment below so as not to miss the upcoming interesting videos. Thanks for watching.